Hey folks, Jeff Thitoff here. Follow me on Twitter @ThitHappens. This is your Browns Blitz. Appreciate your support. Find us wherever you find your podcast. Obviously, like, listen, subscribe, share, all those things. All right, quick one here on the Browns. The Browns now made a big trade. The Browns made a trade today. How about that? They made a trade today. They traded Joe Flacco, the recently anointed backup in Cleveland, to the Cincinnati Bengals. It was Flacco and a 6th-round pick to Cincinnati for a 5th-round pick. All these picks coming in next year's NFL draft. And interesting move, and from a couple of different standpoints here on this. First of all, let's talk first about why the Browns did this. Flacco had no real avenue to being the starting quarterback again, unless Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders they needed a third quarterback. They still do need a third quarterback, by the way. They need a veteran quarterback because Dillon Gabriel, although he did look decent in their game against Minnesota, did one thing great that he did as a rookie quarterback making his first start, did not turn the ball over at all. That's significant. Gabriel, obviously a lot more mobile than Joe Flacco is. So there wasn't a real path for Flacco. So the Browns pretty much just got something for Flacco, getting a 5th-round pick, giving up a 6th, and shedding the rest of Flacco's salary for the season. But the interesting part of it now is that you've got Shedeur Sanders, as of right now, as we speak, right now today, is the backup quarterback to Dillon Gabriel. And I'm not sure how much the Browns really want to play Shedeur Sanders right now. Part of the problem is that, but it happens to every rookie quarterback you put out there, but if they get overmatched, it could really destroy confidence. Not that Shedeur Sanders lacks for confidence, but you got to be careful about that also. And you have to look and see what happens if Dillon Gabriel gets hurt or overwhelmed there. You need a veteran quarterback on this team. I would think that people who love Shedeur Sanders and people who hate Shedeur Sanders want to see him get a shot. I've said all along, the key for the Browns this season now, from right now until next year's draft, is to find out if they have a franchise quarterback on their roster. If they do, fantastic. Your draft strategy next year with 2 first-round picks is going to be different. If you don't, then you've probably wasted your 3rd-round pick on Dillon Gabriel and then your pick on Shedeur Sanders much later in the draft. And that would be a bad look for the Browns. Here's what I think, and this is just speculating on my part. I wonder if Deshaun Watson's close to coming back, because they have to have someone they can count on other than rookies. And I wish right now they probably wish they had Kenny Pickett still, but obviously they don't have him anymore. But somebody's got to be in there, because you don't want something catastrophic happening with Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders getting in there and being the only 2 quarterbacks you have. Shedeur Sanders is best suited to be the number 3 quarterback right now. You got to have somebody else in there, a veteran, to back up Dillon Gabriel in case he does get hurt. Sanders can be the emergency quarterback. That's fine. But if Deshaun Watson's close to coming back, that might be why they decided to do this. Maybe Deshaun Watson will play for the Browns this year, and they'll see what they've got with him. When they got Joe Flacco this year, people thought, oh, he's a bridge quarterback. Maybe Deshaun Watson's a bridge quarterback. Maybe that's where they're looking on this one, because they absolutely have to have, like I said, a 3rd quarterback in there. And if the Browns end up if they end up whiffing on both these quarterbacks, that'd be an awful look for them, using a 3rd-round pick on Gabriel. I don't think they have that. I just think that the Browns need to find out between now and the end of the season what they have as far as quarterbacks go. The Browns now, if you look at the way things are stacked up for them, look, they're not officially eliminated from anything. That's true. But they are 1-4. They've scored 73 points in 5 games. And they're in last place, tied with Baltimore, amazingly, in the AFC North. They're not going anywhere. So I said it before, it's unpopular, but I'd like Sanders and Gabriel both play and give them both opportunities to get reps as a starter, practice reps as a starter, and then get out there and play. The Browns coming off that loss to Minnesota, 21-17. And It's what's interesting about the Browns, though. This week, by the way, they're in Pittsburgh, which is a very tough matchup for Dillon Gabriel and that Browns team, especially if you saw the way Pittsburgh played against Minnesota the last time the Steelers had time when the last time they played was over there in Ireland. They had the bye week this past week. They've had this time now to prepare for Dillon Gabriel. The Steelers will do a pretty good job of preparing for a rookie quarterback like Dillon Gabriel. So I expect this game to be ugly for the Browns and for Dillon Gabriel. Hell, you might see Sanders in this week, depending on what they do at quarterback, if they sign somebody else or not. Pittsburgh comes in as a 5.5-point favorite. But when you look at where the Browns are at, they wasted Joe Thomas's prime. Joe Thomas, elite offensive tackle, and the Browns were never an elite team. They're in a situation now where you've got a rookie quarterback starting for you right now, but your rookie quarterback on a very team-friendly rookie deal. You've also got a running back in Quinshon Judkins who rushed for 110 yards and is a bruising running back who's going to be really good in the NFL, but running backs have a short shelf life. He's also on a rookie deal. Think about this. When Quinshon Judkins in the offseason, the preseason, we weren't sure if he was going to play at all this year. The NFL could have suspended him for 6 games, 8 games, whatever it was. So he misses all of training camp, then shows up. In the preseason, I was talking about Jerome Ford and how Jerome Ford was going to get an opportunity this year to be the guy to replace Nick Chubb. You also have Dylan Sampson, the other running back they drafted, this one out of Tennessee. And in this last game, Judkins had 23 carries. I think those two guys combined for 6. So Judkins is clearly the guy here. But now you've got Judkins, a very talented running back. And when you get a guy like this on a rookie deal like Judkins is, he's overplaying his contract, outplaying his contract right now. And Gabriel, if he's just decent, if he plays like he did against Minnesota, he will also be outplaying his contract. This is the time for the Cleveland Browns to do something with this team, or you're going to end up wasting Myles Garrett and you're going to end up wasting Quinshon Judkins the same way you wasted Joe Thomas. All right, folks, that's it for this Browns Blitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on Twitter @FitHappens. Go to the FantasySports.com website. Download the app free for the Apple and Android users. We'll talk again soon. Browns got a big one this week at Pittsburgh. We'll see what Dillon Gabriel does.